telling you, man. I'm telling you, some of these mamas was bad, and I just couldn't help but notice that. Hey, these mamas getting young out here,
What if your
and
wife watches this, man?
it,
What if your
it,
wife watches this?
a much better TV viewing
That or
experience.
we just getting older and I can appreciate the MILF in a way we did.
Nah, go back and look at some of the mamas like Michael Jordan mama and stuff like that. They was old. They was old,
Yeah,
man.
but Michael Jordan mama was never a bad looking woman. She just was
No, but
old.
my point is they wasn't fine though. You know, even if they wasn't ugly, they wasn't fine. All
What if
right.
your wife watches this? Then what? See, that's why I watch what I say on the people's podcast.
I
I
don't
watch what
worry
I say on
about it,
people's
man.
podcast.
I can
First of
appreciate.
all, your wife ain't looking up nothing, Charles.
Look, I can appreciate.
It's not about that. They can get back to her.
All right.
Someone else can watch it instead. I said it and then
Who the
show
heck is gonna call her in Africa?
it when she gets here. When she gets here.
But anyway, let's move on to number 10, the Wizards. Johnny Davis, Wisconsin. Smooth, you're up.
Oh, shoot, forgot about him. So Johnny Davis. I don't know if that was a good pick because is Brad Bill staying? That's the question you gotta ask yourself.
He's opting out.
I know he already opted out, but is he gonna sign a new mega deal with you, or is he going somewhere else?
Not a chance. Not a chance. It's a sign of trade. He's not.
Exactly. So that's why I say this was a bad pick because I would have swung for the fences. If I know Brad Bill's leaving, I got nothing else, but Kyle Kuzma as my guy. Why not swing for the fences and get like somebody like Jalen Williams, who has more potential, or Jalen Duran, who that made more sense to me. You don't get a role player when you know you're starting over.
Charlie.
I actually like the pick. I mean, you can't worry about Bradley Bill. I mean, they did try to build around him after John Wall because John Wall and Bradley Bill, they was a great duo for years, but they couldn't get it done. John Wall kept getting injured. They did try to build the team around him, Bradley Bill, but it just didn't work out. I do like the pick. He's a 6'4" wing. Um, I think he can be a starter down the line, obviously coming off the bench. So I got nothing wrong with it. I mean,
But he shoots
uh,
30% from three, and that was the college three. What you think is going to be in the NBA?
Yeah, that's something you'll have to develop, but it's okay. Because
yeah,
here's what I wrote: Johnny Davis gets buckets. Period. His offense ability is through the roof, and he still works hard on the defensive end. And if I'm a rebuilding team like Washington, I want this guy running my offense.
He only shoots 42%
He'll
overall.
develop. All of these guys, again, this is a younger NBA. You're thinking in terms of an older NBA, maybe in the 80s, 90s, or even early 2000s, where guys were coming in after playing 3 and 4 years and coming out of high school or early in college was a rarity. Guys were still going 3 years. These guys are all going one and done. They're
But
not.
haven't you noticed?
They haven't developed.
But haven't you noticed in the one and done era, how many of these guys we be talking about these guys all the time, and how many of them actually develop their game or their game gets better?
Well, that's just the problem with American basketball. That's why the Europeans are starting to little by little take
No,
over.
they changed the
Look
game.
at all the
That's why.
Canadians that just got drafted tonight and have been drafted in the last couple of years. They would have never drafted. We're not going to that debate again. All right. So I wrote down also, I don't know if you saw Johnny Davis' suit, but I wrote down Johnny Davis' suit is fire. All right. This is also where I got another draft note because I started looking at all the pictures of all the draftees and I was like, the light skins are winning. All the light skins. Look at all the light skins that got drafted. Just take a look. I was just like,
a bunch.
man, how basketball has changed, boy. I tell you, hardly ever saw a light skin playing basketball. All right, so moving on to the Knicks at number 11, they draft Ousmane Dieng, one of my favorite players in this draft, actually. My possible steal here.
He's a project, though.
He is a little bit of a project. But just keep in mind, he was traded to OKC. He was drafted by the Knicks, but traded to OKC.
I know that, and thank God for him because he went to a actually good, credible organization.
So go ahead, Smooth. Continue.
Yeah, he's a good, solid two-way player. His jump shot is a little bit lacking from distance, but he's not. But it's not bad. It's not like it's truly shaky. And I think he pairs well with the guys that he's going to be playing with. I'm just not sure he's going to be happy on that team.
Smooth. I mean, Charlie.
Go again, Smooth. At first, like I'm glad that OKC would be a better fit because originally he got drafted by the Knicks, and it's like the Knicks got Obi Toppin the year before, so you don't necessarily need this guy, but it was traded. So OKC, they're building a nice young group there, so I think he'll be a nice little piece to add to the clock.
He's better than Obi.
Yeah, he's way better than Obi. I actually wrote down. This is literally what I wrote down. Knicks fans, how y'all feeling?
My thing was, why didn't you trade Obi and keep this guy? That's what I was.
That's
thinking.
what I would have done. He's a better version of Obi. Obi's unathletic, but he's a good player, just unathletic.
No, I wouldn't call him unathletic because he's.
Well, he can dunk. Yeah,
he can dunk, but like as far as like lateral movement and things like that, it's lacking and where you need it to be. So that's why I wrote that. But I also wrote down OKC's tallest players as of right now. They got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as their point guard. He's 6'6". Their shooting guard Josh Giddey, they drafted last year, 6'8". They got Lou Dort, who's 6'3". They got Chet Holmgren, 7 feet. Poku, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Poku, but Poku can ball. He's 7 feet, and he's a small forward. They got Bailey, who's 6'8". Roby Alexander, 6'8", and then now they got JRE, who's 6'8", and then you add this guy. So they have one of the tallest lineups I've ever seen. Got to be one of the top 5, definitely in the NBA. That's what I wrote down. So and then it's like we go right back to the Thunder with the 12th pick again, and they pick up Jalen Williams. And I wrote down that he's going to inject a lot of energy and efficiency into the team, and he can play early. He had a solid G League experience. Smooth, what do you think about the next pick?
Okay, so Jalen Williams, shout out Santa Clara, first guy drafted since Steve Nash from Santa Clara. But he has a 72 wingspan, so he's going to give some guys problems on ball if he develops his defensive game. The next thing about him, he has really good handles, and he can shoot it. He's more of a glue guy. He's not the guy that's gonna take over a game, but he's definitely he could be the first guy off the bench.
Well, at 12, you want a solid contributor, and you hope that he becomes more. So,
and then the look on his face when he heard it was OKC. Oh, that was priceless.
Okay. Real quickly. Okay, so I sent y'all that text message. Open your text message. Look at that look. Look at that look. Just take a look. I sent you the text. It was a Twitter thread. Open the Twitter. Open the Twitter link. Dude, I don't know if I want that dude with that making that face playing on my team. Did you see it, Charlie? Have you looked at it yet?
It's loading up now.
Oh, man, that's slow internet. There we go.
Yeah, you know.
That's the grandma look. Where she like,
You know, with the Android. If
Not
you had an iPhone, it worked already.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what we got dragged to it.
Who goes from iPhone to Android? Dude.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
It was super.
Yes. When he made that face, I was like, oh, hell no. Get him out of here. Get him out of here right now. All right.
It was cheaper. I wrote down he's actually not a bad defender, although he has moments of lapse. So that's the only thing. But he's actually not a bad defender. Good wingspan. And, you know, his stats are pretty good. 18 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He does a little bit of everything. B Smooth talked about him dribbling and stuff. He's a shot creator, too. So I think he could develop into a nice player. And you can never have enough shot play creators. So I like him.
So I wrote down a couple things, right? So I wrote down first, the New York Knicks are running the triangle offense again, right? So the first point at the top is I get my hopes up. Then the next point, I get disappointed. And then over here, I start to believe again. That's what I literally wrote that. So
Someone got jokes.
I was dying, man. All right, and then I wrote down that I wrote down Stephen A. Smith is turning the draft into first take. Shake my head because he was going off at this point. Stephen A. Smith had turned into a full
I don't
cartoon.
know what they did. So you let Kemba Walker go. You traded your picks. Then you
Oh,
trade back in and give away a whole bunch of other picks later in the draft. None of
yeah,
that made sense. They gave away a first and a bunch of seconds in like 4 seconds to trade
yes,
back in to take somebody later.
yes. One more thing on this before we go. Move on to the next. So they started to talk about Chet Holmgren again, and I wrote down, "Hey ESPN, why is Kendrick Perkins saying what do I say? Is Kendrick Perkins the best we could get for the NBA draft?" I was like, "We need Jalen Rose, Jay Williams, and JJ Redick." I was like, "Hey, I'll take one of the Van Gundys of both of them, right?" And I was like, because Perkins has the worst takes. He literally compared Giannis to Chet. He said Giannis and Chet are the same players. I'm like, they're not even remotely close to each other. Where you get this from, man? So
Because how did he even get that job? I was like, who does he have a dossier on? You
like,
know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
know, man. It's bad, man. It's bad. But let's go
I said
to
the same
13.
thing about Dan Orlovsky, man. Who's the guy naked pictures though?
So let's go to 13. Because this Jalen Duran
Okay,
thing,
I got
crazy.
excited for this one
Yes, this mess
because
was crazy.
you got Cade Cunningham, right? Then
Uh
you
huh.
pick up Jaden Ivey, who's the perfect complement. Now with this guy, he's a traditional center. Now you got the banger you need. I feel like Detroit is poised in the next 5 years to be a contender.
Yes, I agree.
And I was excited about this one. He's not going to be a flashy guy. He's not going to score a whole bunch of points because he is a traditional center in a non-traditional NBA. You know, but he's going to do a lot of rebounding and a lot of gooning down there.
So before you interjected, I needed to mention he was drafted by the Hornets, but he was traded in a three-team deal to Detroit. All right, and so I've got to write. I've got to. Before we get to Charlie, I've got to tell you what I wrote down. I was like, Jalen Duren is a great pick for the Hornets. He fell after a poor college year, but he was a top prospect before, and they desperately needed a center. And then I wrote right behind it in all caps. Did Jalen just get traded twice in less than 5 minutes from being drafted? Because literally, hold on, I gotta show you. I was literally on Twitter, and Shams writes, "Sources: Hornets traded Jalen Duren to the Knicks." And then Woj, 2 minutes after he writes that, Woj comments right on Shams' page and on Twitter and says, "Pistons are acquiring Jalen Duren with the number 13 pick in a trade." Sources tell ESPN. I was First of all, Woj is dirty, man. That's first of all. Let's just say that. Woj is dirty. Shams reports the trade, and then right after Shams reports the trade, Woj 2 minutes later reports another trade right after that. I was dying. Like, how does this dude get traded within 5 minutes and get drafted twice? I have never seen anything like it. Great drama. Awesome. Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, this sounds like a hot commodity. Traditional big man, no. So he's a decent post player, but most of it is probably gonna be like pick and roll, catch and dunk, catch and layup or whatever. Only negative, I mean, he needs time to develop. I think because he's 18, 18. He's gonna be 19 later this year. So I like what Detroit is doing, but it could be 2, 3 years before they all develop together. This guy, Kate Cunningham, and I don't have the other guy's name written down. It's gonna take 2, 3 years for them all to develop, though. That's my only
Yeah,
negative.
they're all really young, so it's gonna be okay. Let's move on to the Cavaliers. Okai, Ochai, Agabai. I forgot how to say his name. I heard his last name. I'm butchering it right now. He was actually, first of all right. Let's talk about the drip. If you didn't see the drip, take a look at him. Very fresh,
Actually,
very nice. I like it was very classic, but I like it. It's got a very African feel to it, though. At the same time, that Nigerian look. Charlie knows something about that. So a good look. But all I wrote down for him is that he was the most outstanding player of the NCAA in the spring, and that he was a four. It took him 4 years to develop under Bill's Self. Heavily recruited out of high school, and he's a well-rounded hooper. Nothing exciting there.
I mean, this is the guy I wanted to fall to the Bulls as well. Um, he would have been a perfect situation for us because he's a 3 and D guy, on the wing. He's not he's not a flashy, go to the basket, dunk on you kind of dude, but he's a good, solid player for a contender coming off the bench. And then the thing with him is, yeah, it depends on the night with his jump shot. Like sometimes he shoots he's lights out, and then other days he's just breaking. And he only shot 33% from three, but that 33% basically is balanced out by the nights he just could not find it. And he's the only reason why Kansas even went to the Final Four. Literally, the only reason. And I like the guy. I think he's got a little bit of room to grow. He doesn't have much, obviously, because he's a 4 year player. But he would have been a great pick for a contender. And then he's got stuck in Cleveland. Sorry,
Yeah,
buddy.
Cleveland sucks. Sorry about that. Charlie.
oh, Cleveland's not so bad. Yeah, no, he was one of the best players, if not the best players on Kansas. For his 3-point shooting, he's more of a spot up shooter. I mean, not a negative, but that's just, if he's open, this is his best chance. I don't, he should be creating his own 3-point shot. Defensively, he's actually a very good defensive player, but like the other guy mentioned, lapses in defense. That's only negative. Outside of that, I think he can develop to a nice player, though.
First of
Um,
all, Cleveland is that bad. In
yes,
the words of
yes.
Joakim Noah, nobody says I'm going to Cleveland on
For
vacation.
vacation, like unless it's a family reunion or something. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this, Charlie. You ever been there?
No, I've
Okay,
driven
I'm
to
gonna admit
Ohio.
fully. I'm gonna fully admit, never been there, but I've been to Cincinnati, and I know those are two different cities. But if you've been anywhere in Ohio, I'm going to tell you now, it sucks. All right, been to Cincinnati. I can tell you, Cincinnati sucks, and Cleveland ain't much better. All right, it's called the mistake by the lake for a reason.
Ohio reeks of desperation. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes. Yes. If you've been anywhere in Ohio, and I've been a few places in Ohio, I can tell you right now, they all are terrible. Everywhere you go. It's like going to Gary, Indiana. And I know you've been to Gary. That's what it's like. It's like going to Gary, but a bigger version of Gary, Indiana.
But worse because you can't get to Chicago after at least
Exactly. That's what makes it worse, is that there's no Chicago close by. There's nothing to save you.
at least with Gary people they can get to the city limits with what within 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing saving them. All right, moving on. Number 15, Hornets. They drafted Mark Williams from Duke. Charlie, how you feeling? What's the
Uh,
take on this?
I mean, they needed some big man help, so. But he's on the Hornets though, so I feel sorry for him already. So,
No, no. Hey, I watch it. Okay, so they're my favorite league pass team to watch.
Yes.
okay.
Absolutely my favorite league pass team to watch. I watch a ton of Hornets basketball. It doesn't lead to a lot of wins, but it's extremely entertaining. And the first thing I wrote on this, Live City is officially in Charlotte. That's what I wrote when I saw this.
That's funny. That's what I was gonna say about it because I was gonna say he's definitely gonna be a rim runner. I expect him to fill the Robert Williams role for the Hornets. A lot of defense and a lot of rim running, basically.
Okay, and as entertaining as they end, it's not translating to wins though. So back to my previous statement, I feel sorry for him.
But they have to get rid of Terry Rozier because he's holding back LaMelo Ball. If they do that and get him a real wing companion to run with, an actual true two guard, they could go. They could take off.
And honestly, this is their number one weakness. Mason Plumlee kind of has to go. So this is big time for them to get another body like this. It's going to take a little time to develop, but this team is still developing. Also, I want to just add in this that we didn't mention. Kimball Walker is now in Detroit, and I think that that's going to be amazing for Detroit's growth as well. They're probably jumping into an 8th seed or something. They're definitely going to be in play for sure. So it's a big coup for Detroit. Watch out, Chicago Bulls. All right. Number 16, the Hawks pick AJ Griffin.
Another dude. Why did he fall to the Bulls?
Okay, here's what I thought about AJ Griffin. He would have been ideal for the Bulls. I wanted him to kind of fall because he fitted what we needed. I liked him. He's a nice add for the Hawks. I don't think he's anything special. But the question that I wrote down is John Collins leaving? That's what I wrote. Because with them drafting him, it's like kind of a question mark. Are they keeping John Collins? Are they trading him? Like, what are they going to do? So, interesting pick for them. Charlie?
The last 2 years with high school and COVID, he missed a lot of games. So that's my biggest concern on him. But he's a good off-ball guard, so he should mesh well with Trey Young. So
So,
My thing with AJ, first of all, shout out to his father, former Chicago Bull.
mhm.
I felt like people underestimated AJ for the simple fact that 2 years, he would have been gone to the NBA already. He had all those injuries for 2 years that hurt him and his draft stock. He's a really good shooter. I felt like a lot of his game was probably held in check because he's on Duke. If you're playing at Duke, you're playing with all these other good players. You don't get to showcase what you can do. Not
Duke had
fully.
the most first rounders, so yeah, I agree with that. It's like playing in Kentucky like a decade ago. I agree.
Exactly. So with that said, I feel like there's more to him, and we're gonna find out. And he might be a steal at this point.
But this is the person I was a little disappointed also with this next pick from the Rockets because I want him to fall to the Bulls. Tari Eason from LSU, he went to the Houston Rockets. First of all, did you see his suit? Did you see the drip? I'm gonna quote the great American poet again from Kendrick Perkins. All right, it might be raining outside, but it's dripping in here. All right. Did you see the lime green suit? Did you see the chain? You see the black shirt? My man's looked like he was at a photo shoot, right? Looked like he was. I love it. It's a good look for him. I'm feeling it. All right. So actually, he was the 12th player on my board. I wrote down that he was an athletic slasher who lives to go right. That's kind of my problem with him. Even when starting left, he'll always finish right. Um, he's kind of a shot put jumper, needs a lot of work. Selling point is length, motor, and nonstop productivity. That's what I wrote about him. So I think I like him a lot.
He's just gonna be a rim runner. That's pretty much all you can do with him.
Yeah, well, we got Dennis Smith Jr., Dennis Jones Jr. He would be a great replacement for Dennis Jones Jr. And he's got a little more weight on him too.
I like Dennis Jones Jr. I liked him.
Yeah, but I like this guy better. He's got more potential. Go ahead, Charlie.
He needs to bulk up a little bit. He's a good defender, but he gets in foul trouble. So
The Bulls, the Bulls didn't need him. Only reason why the Bulls didn't take him, we got a log jam at forward, and we have a forward slash center position. We need more wings, and that's
I
why
agree, but he is a wing. He's 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, can guard all 5
they have
positions,
him listed as a power forward though.
and they have him as a 90th percentile in transition. I wrote all of that down, and then I wrote Josh Christopher and Easton running in transition with Jalen Green and Jabari Smith as your pick and roll threat. Exciting to think about. Those are my notes on that. I think that that's a good pick for them. I wish he would have went to the Bulls because I just think that he has a lot of talent, and it would have been nice. But you know what I wrote also about this?
His mom.
Yes, I did. His mom has a really nice dress on. That's what I wrote.
I
Uh-huh.
didn't
Take a
see
look.
her, but now I'm going to look.
Yes, go ahead and take.
I'll take your word for it.
It was
I'll
a
take your
very
word
nice.
for it. This is me not
Shout
looking
out
it
to
up.
the moms out there. They were the real MVP of this draft. All of them. Love y'all, moms. Y'all make the world go round. Givers of life. That's what they are. All right, let's move on to the Bulls.
All up in his phone, man.
The Bulls draft. Yeah, he's taking a good look at the nice dress. It's a nice dress.
I think most Bulls fans wanted a big man, and we got a two guard, small forwardish hybrid player who's got similar skill sets to Ayo Dosunmu, and I say a little bit of Patrick Williams. He's a good. He can make a. He can start off as a 3-and-D wing, and that's a need. There's always a need for someone that can play defense and yet spot up shooting. So even though it would have been nice to have a big, this is a need because who was the best small forward on the team past DeMar DeRozan that we had?
I mean, basically, it's just LaVine, Lonzo when he's healthy, I guess.
Small forward though.
Oh, small forward. I didn't hear the small forward. There's no one. Honestly, there's no one. None of those guys were any good. If you sat DeRozan, we didn't have anybody. Honestly,
yeah.
They would just kind of play small ball with Kobe White.
He's gonna see. He has a chance to see time early, obviously with defense and just to be a 3-and-D, knock down your corner jumpers. Because in the playoffs, we're just missing threes left and right. And without Lonzo, it's like we didn't have the defenders to just help on the perimeter. Because Kobe White ain't giving us defense, and like Boozer, if he ain't giving us offense, he's useless.
So here's the problem with this kid, and I hated the pick so much.
Mm-hmm.
You took a guy who's basically a defender. He didn't take that many threes. And the low percentage that he did take, he only shot 35% from three.
He must be playing.
Your brother over there playing Xbox?
Yeah, you over there getting killed in Rainbow. That's all it is.
He said ball. He's probably playing 2K with randoms. You can't play don't play 2K with randoms. Find some friends, people.
Public service announcement.
Yes, because you will get angry.
They'll be like, then they want to they want to, what's the word here? Some envy does all the time. Troll you for no reason. They just like, oh, let me just
no.
stay
I
in
just troll you.
Oh, you're a troll.
I just troll you because you deserve it.
Let's get back to the subject at hand.
Right.
I thought it was a solid pick. I wasn't upset with it. I literally just wrote down, I'm not mad at it. He's a lockdown defender and he can shoot the three. Not too bad. But what this gave me was an observation about how they really feel about Zach LaVine's free agency. They're clearly looking for another player to replace him because maybe they think that he's not coming back. And honestly, if I'm Zach LaVine, I think that there's a few opportunities out there that make a lot of sense.
Well, why wouldn't you take Malachi Branham, who can score from Ohio State?
Zach was going to take the max. They're going to offer him the max.
Yes, they can, but Brooklyn Nets are out there. The Lakers have expressed some interest. There's a few other teams. I know Dallas is hunting him. I think it's terrible if he goes to Dallas, but he's going to end up like there. And there's your boy leaving. So, yep.
People just walking off. Get some control in your house, sir. We're recording.
I know, man.
I know.
Recording, sir.
Hey, my wife ain't making shadow puppets. Hey, we can't even see none out your skyline. What's the point? All we can see is the walls. That's it. We can't even see that, man.
When we saw it earlier, we had a nice view.
All that flexing.
And there he is, still out here doing.
Was that for me? Was that for me?
Yeah, he gave you a package.
All right. Well,
in the camera.
This is literally where we're going to stop us with the Bulls because you know what? I decided that I wanted to check out the verses a little bit, and I stopped watching it all, and it wasn't interesting anyway. So we're going to call it quits right there because nothing else was interesting after that. All right, want to thank you for watching the dialogue. Rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, leave a comment, and we'll talk to y'all in a couple of days.
Open up your package on camera. We want to see what you got.